Sorry for that formal pose, but I've been getting some strange stills when I go into the editing. So, okay, as I promised, another Oz box, which means I think the original box might have been damaged, so I had to quickly pack these into other boxes while they were cleaning out the my storage lockers. So let's start with Tillian Windmills, Brian Hibbs, wonderful colleague, wonderful comics retailer out of San Francisco. This was a collection of 2003 by IDW. If you're a comics retailer, I'm interested in the business of comic shops and how crazy the whole direct market distribution system is. Read this, read his columns. He does them monthly. Annually, he does a sales analysis of comic sales to bookstores every year, which is just fantastic. Gotta get him signed that. Next, one of the older books of manga, about manga, Dreamland Japan, Writings on Modern Manga. Critical Shot, who was one of the, probably the godfather, grandpappy, great-grandpappy of Japanese comics translators, manga translators. This came out 1996, before Pokemon hit Stonebridge. Great its analysis and history of Japanese manga from the early days, World War II, and then up to the 90s. All right. Let's start this big pile. Here we've got artists on comic art. Yes, I paid $5 for this. It was 15 pounds originally. So I guess that makes it 15 and a half, $22. But interviews with all of those artists and or writers. Some of those are actually written as well. About the art of comics. Next, we have First Publishing, a Grimjack graphic novel by John Ostrander and Flint. Henry. Roger Zelazny is the intro. First had a lot of interesting comics back in the day. Just an example of the art. Some of it, because a lot of this is creator owned, a lot of it has been reprinted by others. Ooh, so you can probably find most of that stuff fairly cheap if you can find it. Not Just Another Pretty Face, R.C. Harvey. Nice little bio comic of work he's done that were on the Pulchritudinous. I can't show you any of this, unfortunately. Oh, wait, I can. Here's Bo Sandy was a comic strip each. True. Give you an example of what the rest of the book is like. Nice guy to meet, too. If you ever at Denver Comic-Con, he's usually there. He's local. Oh, this is nice. This might have been reprinted and updated many other times. So this is the Penguin Book of Comics, George Perry, Alan Aldridge. Can you tell what decade that was published? $4.95 is the price on the back. It is Penguin, so it is 01400280021 Isbin. $20 is what I paid for it. Excuse me. First published 1965. This is the revised edition, 1971. And just full of, hey, they got Wilhelm Busch in here. British and American comics. Good general overall history. If you're going to pick one, I would probably go with the Faden comics. But and then we have Cartoon Success Secrets, a tribute to 35 years of cartoonist profiles. John Hurd. This is a $30 book. These are reprints from Cartoonist Profiles, which was sort of a trade magazine for comics illustrators. So this pile here. Sorry, it's going to be boring because it's academic, but it's The Language of Comics, Word and Image by Varnum and Gibbons. Again, I like to buy the hardcovers. The Mesa Verde Cliff Dwellers, an Isabel Soto archaeology adventure. Nice little thin capstone reader. Index in the back, of course, glossary. About 20, 30 pages of story. Good introduction for younger readers. We have The Exquisite Corpse Adventure. Progressive story game played by 20 celebrated authors and illustrators. There's another version of this that was instigated by Alan Moore, which was just comics. John Scasa, Catherine Patterson, Katie Camilla, Susan Cooper, Gregory McGuire, Patricia C. and Frederick L. McKissick, Shannon Hale, Natalie Babbitt, Nikki Grimes, Stephen Kellogg, written and illustrated by Stephen Kellogg. Lemony Snickets, Catherine Patterson, some of these guys, most of these guys repeat. Let's just take a quick look at the Stephen Kellogg chapter, 75. Of course, if you don't know, just to the spot illustration, darn. A Exquisite Corpse is you start, the next person can read, I think usually when you're doing this at a party, it's the last sentence you wrote, the sentence the previous person wrote, and they have to take that, write another sentence, and then fold it over. Next person can only see what the previous person wrote, and you have this wonderful game of telephone. I've seen this done as comics, as in drawing competitions, where they'll fold the paper into thirds. So one person does the top half, and they just draw a line over the fold it over. The next person does the middle, and the next person does the bottom, and then you unfold it. And sometimes the lines don't match up because you might have 3 lines. Here we have Lisa's Story, the original edition. I got this. I think it's St. Mark's Comics, which is probably why it's so beat up. Tom Batiuk, $12.95. Bless his wife. Discovers she has breast cancer. Recent storyline. They were filming a movie. Ooh, 2010. National Parks, poster art of the WPA. Don't know when this recycles again. You can check that online. Story of these posters. These were WPA posters commissioned during the Great Depression to promote national parks. In the 70s, someone was cleaning out offices. They were going to throw these onto a burn pile. They got rescued, restored, and then these became so popular. The monthly calendars are beautiful. Became so successful that they then started commissioning new posters in the same style. So, for example, this is Grand Canyon National Park. That is the original poster that they would have used in the Great Depression, 1930s. Slightly damaged here. We have Fauna by Zach Gardner. A little strange little story. $10 book. Correct control number. Library of Congress control number TXU1-242-661. That's not a Library of Congress call number. That might be the copyright registration from 2005. I like he crossed it out and put a rubber stamp there. But you know more? Let me know. But this is just a strange little story. Who was that? Zach Gardner, yeah. I'll have to Google him later. All right. Another calendar, Taschen books, 2010 again. This is based on the Wirtschaftswunder. No. I can do all sorts of bad. Barely see it. Josef Heinrich Darchinger, Wirtschaftswunder. And as you can tell by the cover, what he did, he was a photographer after the war, photographing, cameraing, picturing, just slice of life in Germany during the recovery. Economic miracles, what we call it, where they just sprang back like a phoenix. And but 1950s, my mom's era. Here we have Mania, Megabond Press, $3. This is Jambenko Rider, Chris Drayson draws. Mania, 3.5 hours and 5 cups of coffee, 1995. I might have picked this up at SPX back in the day. And here we have the Random House Webster's College Dictionary, not the Merriam-Webster. They had a lawsuit, actually, I think in the 90s, might have been over this edition, where they kind of stepped on the feet of Webster, because Webster's is a generic term, Mr. Webster, not Noah Webster. I was getting confused with the politician. Anyway, this was 1996 edition, so there's a lot of words that are not in here. But it was the cover design was too much like Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. So they sent him a cease and desist, and I think what Random House had to do was just pull the dust jacket and put a new one on. Frisian. F-stop. That's how I'm going, right? Oh, there we are. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Uh-huh. To thrust copulate with Southwest dialect. Off, up. Fucoid, resembling or related to seaweeds of the genus, I guess Fucus? A fucoid seaweed, 1830, 1840. And then before that we have Fuchsin, a greenish solid coal tar derivative obtained by the oxidation mixture of aniline and the toluenes. What a great band they were. That forms deep red solutions used chiefly as a dye. Oh, from that we get fuchsia. Huh. Well, it's fuchsia plus N. Okay, fuchsias are before that. Fuchsia. What a nice name for a girl. Phew. Any shrubby plants of the genus fuchsia. The Indian primrose family with pink to purple drooping flowers. Bright purplish red color. The color fuchsia. After letter Fuchs. So it's actually based on Fox. German botanist. Fubsy. Short and stout. Chubby person. British, of course. Oh, Fubsy, you. And of course, yeah, I can go there. What's down here? Okay. That's why. Zebra crossing. What a wonderful, delightfully British word. No, not a place for a zebra cross. A street crossing for pedestrians marked with white stripes. Which I think we should use here. That is one. That's VBAC. Oh, Zimmergy is not the last word here, nor is Z0 particle, an electrically neutral type of intermediate vector boson. Last thing in here is notice that they don't have any pronunciation on here. ZZZ or ZZZ lowercase used to represent the sound of a person snoring. That's funny. Last word in here does not have phonetic spelling. Zooplasty. Zwingli. Zygodactyl. Having the toes of the foot arranged in pairs with two toes pointed forward and two turned rearward as woodpeckers. Zygoma. It's got to do with bones. Zygomacetes. Fungi. Zygosity. Feel. Embrace your zygosity. Yeah, these are just. I'm the type of guy who will go through randomly go through a dictionary and look at crazy words. Ooh, red light district. That relates to what I was talking about earlier. We have Red Brick University. Chiefly British, a relatively new university that lacks the prestige of the other universities, especially Oxford and Cambridge. So before it becomes ivy-covered, ivory tower. Yes, covered in ivy. It is just red brick. Yeah. I love that red brick. It's a red brick university. 1940-45. Red herring, always a good one. Jot. Joss stick. A thin stick of a dried fragrant paste burned as incense before a joss. What's a joss, you might ask? I'm glad you asked. Chinese house idol or cult image. Chinese pigeon from Deus. God. Jewel, yeah, that's a good one. The guy, not the singer. Galaxism. Gallopade. What you gallop? Gallop, but it's gallopade. Gallimafree. Hodgepodge, jumble, confused medley. Yes, all you friends. Now you know. All you Doctor Who fans. Okay. Back. Some books. Okay, another chunk of books here. We have, The Secret Life of Oddity, Volume 2. These are cinema comics. Again, it's slightly damaged, but that's all right. My library has those. The kids department. Ooh. This I bought from the internet without looking at it, I guess. I didn't realize what I was getting. It only cost me, with taxes and shipping, $17. But Skippy by Percy Crosby. I wanted a collection of comics. It was so popular. Skippy is actually the first comics property to be nominated for an Oscar and was nominated for Best Picture that year. Take that, Black Panther. Sad story. But this is novels with some spot illustrations in it. I think this been, say for example, I think Skippy was a street urchin, orphan. Not again. Historically relevant, so that's why I bought it. Oh, yes. Oh, wait, I still have something. Here we have Dewdroppers, Waldos, and Slackers, a decade-by-decade guide to the vanishing vocabulary of the 20th century. And right below it, Flappers, Rappers, American Youth Slang. You thought I was going crazy with the Freedom House. Here we go. Ooh, JD language. War Counselor, Beast Men, Citizen, Turf, Sounding, a fair fight, a rumble, fall in, punk out. There's a punk back down from a fight, or punks were punks. Punk or chicken is applied to person. Okay. Mainstream 50s, we have Stove bolt, a Chevrolet, so called because many of the engine bolts were coarsely threaded and had a notched head like a stove bolt. Suicide front end, a lowered front end that could cause an end-over-end roll if a plate broke during a race. Taco wagon, Mexican-American's hot rod. Take the torch to it. Lower the car by chopping the top. Trumpet, full throttle. The trumpets are the tailpipe extensions. That's kind of cool. Unglue, blown set of an engine. Typewriter, a Dodge, suddenly because of the push-button automatic transmission. Again, 70s and 80s. What's nice about this is they have a lot of discussion on here. But for example, so they have a lot of discussion at the beginning of the chapter, and then the dictionary entries for that year, and then usually sidebars on specific subcultures. Yeah, subcultures. Hot to go. Carp out to misfire. Back off. Let up the gas. Cut a fat one. To run at top speed. What did you think it meant? I'm shocked. Shocked that you would think that. And now, here we are. Joy poppers. Teenage delinquent. Banging. Taking heroin intravenously. Bindle. Small pack of narcotics. Black stuff is opium. Charlie's cocaine. Skin pupping. Injecting the drug below the skin rather than directly into a vein. Indicating an experienced user. Also called a skin pop or skin shot. Yellow Jacket was Nembatol barbiturated. That came in yellow console. Where did the word be? Kicksville. Flipsville. Kitty. Leapers. Zuma. Oh, she looked this up. Schmo from Kokomo. Square, Daddy-O. Square. Unhook your ears, Dad. And I'm giving you the word from the bird. Can you dig it? I knew that you could. Oh, the 80s. God, Blitzkrieg Tender? Oh, that's on Corporate Raiders. Power dressing. Hosers and happy campers. Audacious Poindexter. Power nap. Xers on Wall Street. Bandwidth. Cafeteria officing. When an employer gives a worker the choice of coming to work in a central location or setting up a home office. Sunlighting. Accepting an outside project while working for your regular employer at home. Wow, these should come back into use now. This practice is the same as moonlighting, but telecommuters don't have to wait until the evening to take on a second job because they are not physically present at a central office. Wow, this was from the 90s. Dumb sizing. Yeah, that should be put in more use. My former employer did that. Cutting back on the number of employees so drastically that it hurts the business. Email lingering. Internet way of hanging around a water cooler, reading and writing email, filling around on the internet to avoid doing work. Entrepreneur. God, that should come back. Starter Castle, the first home of the newly rich.comer, also known as the McMansion. Casual Friday, Club Kid Style. Grunge chic, yeah. Mullet, right? Really? Oh, yes. Digital Doomsday. Changeover. Fix on failure. That's where you wait until Y2K computer problems occur before attempting to fix them. Wait till it's on fire before you put it out, I guess. Ebonics. Soccer mom. Toodle pip. Oh, goodbye to the great century. Seeing the funny papers. Don't take any wooden nickels. Toodle pip. Abyssinia. Gotta take a fast powder. Black times here, termite. It's been real. See you on the flip side. I'm outie. Bye-bye. I should have used that, waited for that, but then for the my sign off. But oh well. Let's see what I do on the fly. Oh, and here we have book 1, Nicholas St. North and the Battle of the Nightmare King. Rise of the Guardian fans, yeah, they're books. William Joyce and Laura Geringer. Picture books too, not just illustrated novels. I like it without my glasses on. Oh, The Hunger Games. Now a major motion picture. I have that pinned somewhere. Oh, and there's the New York City, the official New York City bookmark. Metro card. Use Metro card. I think I did read this. Not interested in reading it. I just went to the Christmas. Oh, and here we have. Okay. This is another internet buy. This is a reprint, I believe, edition. Not the original, I'm not sure. But this is Seduction of the Innocent. $82. Still Minton bagged. Minton's slip wrap. I'm a Rian House. 0848-816579. It is, I believe that was a reprint of the original edition. I think someone was going to do an annotated edition of it. It just never happened. I'm also hoping someone will eventually reprint the congressional hearing. Oh my. Okay, I gotta cover this. This is Icarus, Aqua Bless. And I guess you call it hentai manga. That covers better. Yeah. Oh my. Yes. And then companion book to the previous one. Artists on comics, right? On comics, whatever. This is Writers on Comic Strip Writing. Nice cover. But here is basically a Hall of Fame listing. Kurt Busiek, Peter David, Chuck Dixon, Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis, Neil Gaiman, Devin Grayson, Danny Jurgens, Joe Kelly, Jeff Loeb, Todd McFarlane, Frank Miller, Grant Morrison, and Mark Waid. I remember that Frank Miller's in the other artist one too. $17 book. And examples of script in here. Let's see what Neil Gaiman has to say. 94. Script extract from Salmon 17. Oh yeah, it's with Calliope. And of course, you're reading this, and you can't help but hear Neil Gaiman's voice. You were a journalist and short story writer before you began working in the comics industry. Why the change of tacks? I'm not going to do an imitation. I was a journalist to make money, and short stories were something that I did on the side. If I sold one, I was happy. Journalism did teach me a great deal, though, how to write to deadline, and more importantly, a certain economy of words. And the last question they ask him, you gotta ask. If you could ask Neil Gaiman one question, what would it be? Put it in the comments below. Maybe we'll ask him later. Much later. Oh, they have his thumbnails. Do you still see a future for yourself in comics? Now, this was asked back in 1999. With comics right now, I'll do occasional little things if somebody waves an artist at me that I've always wanted to work at. I did this little Vertigo story because Jeff Jones wanted to do his first comic in 25 years. I loved the idea, and I didn't even care if it was any good or not. I'll probably go back one day and write some more, but the thing is, now I've written a few good comics, whereas I feel there's lots of things out there that I haven't done to my satisfaction. I haven't made a movie I'm pleased with. I haven't made a television series I'm happy with. I think he has. I don't know about the movie side, but Carlin, I think, yeah. It's quite possible 5 or 10 years time I'll do some stuff that has to be comics, and I'll come back and spend a few years just doing more comics. I did comics because I loved them, and I stopped because I felt it was right to leave while I was still in love. I never got to the point where I had to give it up in the morning, stare into the mirror gloomily and say, oh God, I've got to write a comic today. I'm pleased, proud, and slightly baffled that comics seem to have brought me a modicum of fame and a modicum of fortune, But I didn't go into to do that because when I started writing, nobody got famous and rich from writing comics. It's true. Do it because you love the medium. Do it because there's stuff to be said. Do it because it's fun. And on that note, let's go back into the box. Okay. Yes. Oh. Quotientary. The only authoritative source for over 20,000 quotations, arranged by subject, easy to use. More new quotes than any other book. Well, then, oh, I love these newsprints reference books because they know, oh yeah, it's not going to last long. 1999, 2001, Leonard Lloyd Frank. Okay. Now, this is by subject. So, I'm going to look up comics, see what comes up. Cruelty, critics, crisis leaders, conservatives, confidence, comedy, commanders. Nope. But under comedy, this is one of the great ones. Tragedy is if I cut my finger. Comedy is if you walk into an open sewer and die. Mel Brooks for the New Yorker, October 30th, 1978. Now I want to read that interview, that profile. All right. Random page. Knaves to knowledge and knowledge. Until I get this. As knowledge increases, wonder deepens. Charles Morgan. That's pretty good. Now at midnight, all the agents of the superhuman crew come out and round up everyone that knows more than they do. Bob Dylan, Desolation, 1965. Well, let's just go. Oh, propaganda. Propaganda. Noun. Their lies. Public information. Noun. Our lies. Edward S. Herman. That's my trade. Hatred. It takes you a long way further than any other emotion. Joseph Goebbels. Not true. Not true. Satire. The close of Saturday nights. That's not in here, though. The difference between a satirist and a humorist is that the satirist shoots to kill, while the humorist brings his prey back alive. Oh, that's good. That's good. Secrets, self-discipline, not self-love. Okay, I was going for sex, but self-love seems so often unrequited. Self-love, my liege, is not so vile a sin as self-neglecting. This is Henry V, Shakespeare. Who loves himself need fear no rivals. Not what I was thinking when I looked up self-love. Okay. Self-realization, self-reliance, self-sacrifice, sex. Only 3.5 columns. I know nothing about sex because I was always married. Shahzad Gabor. Sex is the ersatz or substitute religion of the 20th century. Malcolm Muggeridge. Sex without love is as hollow and ridiculous as love without sex. Hunter S. Thompson. Men like women with a past because they hope history will repeat itself. Mae West. Way with words. Bed is the poor man's opera. Okay. I like fun reference books, okay? And yes, I would have a copy of the OED too. unabridged. I'm so dang darn expensive. What's the last stuff in here? And again, this is the boxes I was talking about. We have an advanced copy from Jim Henson Design called Jim Henson's Doodle Dreams, Inspiration for Living Life Outside the Lines. I think his journal is called Red Book. If you go to the Henson Legacy, Henson Associates website, they have archived, I think, all of it. It's like the great, most ultimate. There's a lot of different colored pages in here. You have to remember, problems can be solved. There is something you can do. Every once in a while, stop and look around. It doesn't matter where you are. There's usually something right there in front of you that will surprise and inspire you. It's helpful to be focused, but don't let that crowd new ideas out of your head. Working together is like being part of a wheel. When the wheel is moving, you don't see the individual spokes. An artist gives people back a part of themselves, the stories and sounds of feeling what it's like to be alive. That's a pretty powerful gift. There are many ways of doing something, but for what no one has tried before, go back and question one or more of the basic givens of a situation. That's a good writing prompt. That's basically how I do comedy. That's how I won't say comedy, but how I entertain myself. Is I'll go there. I'll say, what if? And then we have here, this is interesting. This is the actual, it's good binding, but it looks fake. From Image Books. Back in, when was this done? 2001. And this is Power Script Book by Brian Michael Bendis with illustrations by Michael Avon Owen. Revised draft. Image Comics, $20. And this is how many? Who Killed Retro Girl, issue 1. It goes up to issue 11, Role Play Part 4. Wow, these are really sparse. Which is kind of funny because now Brian Michael Bendis writes by the way he's paid by the word, but here, okay, that's page 15, and first 3 panels of page 16. So, but I need to start collecting the comics for tomorrow. Okay, that's that. That is the second box of the shipping. Again, I hope you enjoy this. 38 minutes. Let me get my glasses back on. Get back to normal here. So that's all going into the diamond box, hopefully. I don't think so, but I'll try my best. These might be recycled. I don't know. They're not bad. It's just I want to put anything heavy in there. Look, see how they got crushed there because they weren't. See how that got crushed? See how that got torn? Yeah, there's another one there. So, yeah, I don't think I'll be using those again, but it can be used for something else. Severed head, maybe. Yeah. Usually, probably 2 or 3 in there. Yeah. Again, thanks for watching. And all that. Hope you enjoyed that. If you see anything you like, comment below. If you got some good quotations that you like to drop whenever. You know, Bartless is fine, but it's a bit stodgy. I like something that's, I mean, that's serious. There's some good stuff in there, but there's also some fun stuff in there. Could you do one just basic one by comedians? That I would like to see. But I'm not the one to do that. So I will see you soon. Adios. Actually, let's go back to that. Where was that? This is by, both of those are by Hippie Counterculture. See, what we need is a thesaurus of slang. So I could look up goodbye and you can say hasta la vista or adios or nice knowing you. See you in the funny papers. Or 86. What is it? Pound? 30? Anyway, I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.